A very good morning, everybody. Today is the fourth day of our presentation season for semester one students. And today, students are making presentations on Victorian literature. Let us have a look at the topics and the list of the students who are making the presentation in this morning first slot of fourth day. So we'll have today first presentation by KHUSHI Rathod, and she will make it on critical study of Robert Browning's poem Porphyria's Lover. Critical study, S should be capital. Keywords should be capital, as we have reminded in the title. Yes. Uh, Followed by KINJAL's presentation on Tennyson as the poet of nature. Nanda will make it on Thomas Hardy as a novelist. As A shall be small, not keyword. It is just a connecting word, so don't keep it capital. Pallavi's presentation will be on Louisa's liberation, a voyage from suppression to self-discovery. Priyanshiba's will be on the idea of the industrial revolution in novel Hard Times. Hard Times title, capital T, is missing out there. If you want to stress the industrial revolution, then you can put that in single inverted comma. Otherwise, the can be with small t. Idea of the industrial revolution in the novel, or you can rather say with the author's name, apostrophe S. Charles Dickens, Hard Times. RESHMA will make it on character sketch of Lady Bracknell. Riya's presentation will be on comparative analysis of the characters of Hard Times with Turkish series, Brave and Beautiful. So in the title, analysis A should be capital, characters C should be capital. SHRUTI will make it on industrialism in hard times. I think that is unnecessary. Apostrophe above M. Hard times is title, so at least single inverted comma is to be used whenever you write the title. And as we told that this is the habit that you have to cultivate when you do handwritten answers also. In exams, when you write your answers, be careful that you don't forget to make single inverted comma around the titles of the text. If you cannot remember this, write down 50 times or 100 times. The title should be in single inverted comma whenever, wherever it is written. Truptis will be on comparison between Tennyson and Browning, both the poets. No need to keep them in single inverted comma. It's the name of the writers. That is where we differentiate. If Macbeth is the name of the character, no need to put it in the inverted comma. But if it is text, then we have to put it in the character, in inverted commas. Unnatis will be on contemporary struggles in Jude the Obscure. And the last one for the morning session will be by Yashraj on exploring the impact of industrialization in hard times and modern times. Okay, fine. So let us start with the first presentation of the day.
Hello. Hello. No. It was the last one. Let me check. Microphone. High definition audio device.
Sir, start. Hello everyone, good morning. I am KHUSHI Rathod. Today I discuss critical study of Robert Browning's poem For Friya's Lovers. This is my personal information. This is the point today I discuss. First, brief information about the Robert Browning. Robert Browning timeline 1812 to 1889. He was born 7th May 1812, England. He was died 12 December 1889, Italy. He was a poet, literary movement, Victorian. He was educated by his well-read father, learning Latin, Greek, French by the age of 14. Published his first major poem, Pauline, in 1833. He married fellow poet Elizabeth Barrett in 1846. Published his most acclaimed work, The Ring and the Book, in 1868 to 1869. Died on the same day that the final volume of verse, S. Lendo, Fancies and Fact, was published in 1889. Introduction of the poem, written by Robert Browning, first published January 1836, and then two times published this poem. A poem is a Browning first ever short dramatic monologue. The poem did not receive its definitive title until 1863. Poem overview. Stormy night lover waiting for his lady love for Frias. She arrives silently, bends down to make the fire blaze up. She takes off her wet cloak, hat, and gloves, revealing her long, damp golden hair. She sits down by the lover's side and tells him she loves him passionately but is too weak to free herself from her false family pride and loveless marriage ties to surrender herself to him completely forever. Her lover is happy and proud to finally hear her confession of love. He has a sudden thought and winds. She has threes round her throat, uh, strange, sorry, strangulate her. He is sure she felt no pain, otherwise, she would have cried. He opens her eyelids, unlooses the knot of hair round her neck, and kisses her cheeks passionately. Throughout the night, the dead and the living sit together without stirring. God is so stunned by the lover's murderous act that he does not speak. Poem's theme: first, love. Both the lovers want to preserve the moment of the pure and stigma-free love forever. Out of initially the lover's strange her beloved, she to death thematically suggests the universalizing and dominating passion of love. Second sin, murder is a sin by any means. The lover commit cold-blooded crime by performing the murderous design. Also vanity that the beloved herbious so long in her mind is a sin. Third, madness. In the second half of the poem, Brownings offer more and more clues to show that the speaker is not madly delusion of or confused because of his near broken heart, but that he is somehow quite mad. All this is presented in a calm manner, even as the speaker describes how he takes his lover's hair and twists it around her neck until she is dead. By not using language or a crazy rhyme, Browning suggests that madness is a complex phenomenon that has more common with sanity than we think. Conclusion. The speaker believed his love for Porphyrias justified her murder and that God has forgiven him. However, his conclusion is a reflection of his own twisted and obsessed nature. This is my reference. Thank you. If any question, you ask me.
Khushi, my question is, what is the significance of the poem's title in relation to the events that unfold?
Yes, Raj. The poem significant title because the poem described the someone deeply obsessed with his uh, uh, lady love. She poem started with love and last to the tragic end of the end of the poem, and the whole poem significant the theme obsessed and seen. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Khushi. How does the poem make use of descriptive language to create a specific mood or atmosphere?
Yes, Unnati. The poem used descriptive language to create a specific mood, um, uh, tension, uh, darkness, and discomfort. And the atmosphere is a haunting atmosphere. Whole the poem in the end of the poem. Atmosphere is a haunting. So, thank you.
Still you are finding it difficult to answer. So fluency in giving answer is what you need to work. So in next semester, identify your weak area, everybody, and work on that so we get improvement at the end of second semester.
humans. Second point, Tennyson as the poet of nature. Tennyson was a great English poet of the 19th century. One of the factors that lie at the root of his greatness is his treatment of nature. In almost all of his poems, long or short, nature plays a dominated role. A notable poems by Tennyson's Mortadeu Arthur. One of the distinguished feature of Tennyson's portrayal of nature is his accuracy of observation and vividness of description. His treatment of nature is characterized by realism and accuracy. Third point, how his works reflect the Victorian fascination with the natural world. Tennyson treats nature as an accompany, accompaniment of human emotions and sentiments. He never think of nature without man. Man is always there in his nature paint. Nature in Tennyson reflects joys and sorrows of his men and women. Nature to Tennyson is always a background for reflecting some human emotions. Tennyson's art is abundantly rich in its pictorial effect. From the rich image and dramatic quality of Alfred Lord Tennyson to Christiane Rossetti, lyrical purity and powerful exploration of loss and faith. The Victorian period heralded a new wave of poetry that was influenced by its romantic producers, yet distinctly different. Tennyson is the great poet for reasons that are perfectly clear. He has three qualities which are seldom found together except in the greatest poet: abundance, variety, and complete competence. The idea which have most affected the mind of the age now passing away are those of science and of the aspect of nature. And in both of these fields, Tennyson has translated the throughout of man's mind into ordered words. Uh, Fourth point, Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver, born in September 10, 1935, Maple Heights in Ohio, US, died in January 17, 2019, Hobble Sound in Florida. American poet whose works reflect a deep communication with the natural world. Her volumes, American Primate, which won the Pulitzer Prize. Millie's influence is apparent in Oliver's first book of poetry, No Voyage and Other Poems. These lyrical nature poems are set in a variety of locales, especially the Ohio of Oliver's youth. In Long Life Essays and Other Writings, 2004, Oliver explored the connection between soul and landscape. Tennyson's poems, such as The Brook in Memoriam and The Lady of Shalott, often have a more Victorian and romantic tone, exploring themes of love, loss, and the beauty of the natural world. Mary Oliver's works like Wild Geese, The Summer Day, and The Journey reflect a more contemporary and accessible style, focusing on the simplicity and wonder of nature and the human experience. While in their themes may overlap in the general sense of nature and human connection, the individual poems and collection are distinctive to each poet's unique voice and perspective. Their style and themes are quite different, but they made they both made a significant contribution in the nature of poetry. This is a conclusion. Alfred Lord Tennyson's poetry is a testament to his profound connection with nature. His verse beautifully depicts the grandeur and subtleties of the nature world. Tennyson's observation of changing season, landscape, and the intricate relationship between humanity and nature establish him as a notable poet of the natural realm. This is my reference. Thank you. If you have any question.
So why have you referred to Mary Oliver in this?
Uh, she was also nature poet.
But you are not comparing that. No, in the title, you have not said that you are comparing Mary Oliver with Tennyson you are talking about. Tennyson as a poet of nature, that is what you are talking about. So why Mary Oliver comes in between?
Some poems are associated with nature.
No, there will be hundreds of poets whose works are associated with nature. So why not all those poets and only Mary Oliver?
She was many of awards win.
Many might have won many awards. No? There might be many other poets who might have won many awards. So, but why you are connecting with Tennyson, Victorian literature? What is the? Is she a Victorian poet?
Oh, Tennyson is a 19th century poet and Oliver is a 20th century.
So then, why? What is the need of comparing? And in the title, you are not telling that you are comparing. You get the point. If you are comparing, you can compare with 21st century poet also. But in title, you have to mention that you are comparing Tennyson, a Victorian. Are you finding the element of Victorian literature in somebody writing in 21st century? Then you can compare that even in 21st century, you have a poet who is having the characteristics of Victorian poems. There is nothing wrong, but some connections should be randomly picking up anybody and bringing in the slide doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that. And then some keywords, significant. Significant is the word. Not that. So be careful that how you pronounce C. Still you are speaking character. This is the fourth day now. So this kind of things might be improved on the second day only. It won't take this many days to improve the word like character, how you pronounce. So that is repeatedly coming. So keep on repeating 100 times. In schools, this was something that was given. You have to write 100 times. You have to speak 100 times so that people get some pronunciations, some structures very much hardwired in the mind. That's why it is needed here again, that it should hardwire that these words are pronounced in this manner. It was a difficult word, and if you mispronounce, no problem. But easy word like character or significant, these are not very difficult words, and that should be improved. Once it is highlighted, then we should start working on those things. And there might be many such words where you might be making mistakes in pronouncing. So start working on your own. There is no other way that we can improve you. Because you may not regularly come in the class if we because we have tried with spoken English classes also in past. Those students who are in need of those things, they don't come. Those who are in no need of that, they come. So that it is meaningless. Sometimes when we engage the classes in the 0 hours or in the late in the evening, then those people who are in need of the thing to learn, they don't turn up in the class. So we shut down those classes. There is no need of those things. So even if we try this, then also you will not come. So we won't be able to improve. This is the only time in an entire semester where we are able to listen exactly how you are speaking. And we can highlight and tell you that this is where you need to improve. There is no other way during the entire semester that we get this time. Because we have seen that either it is late coming or not doing the task. Whenever we give things in the classroom, those students for whom it is, they remain absent. So those who are regular, they have to listen everything. Those who are regular, they have to listen. and for whom we tell they remain absent in the class also. This is the only time where students have to come, and they have to, we can pinpoint that this is what is happening and you need to improve on those things. Otherwise, we are not getting anywhere a time to reach out to all the students to tell them that this is where you need to improve. Okay.
KINJAL. My question is what literary movement is Tennyson associated with as a poet of nature?
Tennyson is often associated with romantic literary movement which emphasize uh, beauty and power of nature. Next.
Kinjal, my question is what types of major themes do we find in Tennyson's poetry?
We can find theme of death, nature, grief, artistic isolation, um, spirituality, time, courage in Tennyson poetry. Thank you.
Okay, so I have randomly counted
That there are around 60 tasks in Google Classroom. Yes? I think KHUSHI has completed all. Only those which are ongoing or assignment or the deadline is not passed are incomplete. Others, there are no missing tasks. In KINJAL's case, I think there are 5 or 6 missing tasks. So that you need to concentrate and complete it as early as possible. When you come for signature on hall ticket, that you will come after Diwali. This time you have enough time because exams are postponed. Had it been on 21st November, then you might have to take signatures earlier. Like in this week only, you are supposed to take the signatures on hall ticket because there is Diwali vacation up till 30th. So then you might be in a rush. So when you come for the signature on hall ticket, you have to see that all your tasks are complete. Only then the whole tickets will be signed. So you have enough time. Diwali vacation is there throughout. Entire November month is there. So anybody who is not able to complete, you see that all your tasks are completed by the first week of December when you come for internal exams. At that time, it should be done. Okay, next one.
First of all, in your Google Classroom name, Nanda, still there is no capital N, capital C in Google Classroom. Are you able to see that? When you click your name,
Yes.
are you seeing any problem
No.
in spelling?
Yes.
Ah.
First letter.
So that you see that it is improved. Now, these all things you need not pinpoint time and again. You should learn on your own that this is what I should improve. Why should I wait until I am told by somebody?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nanda Chavda, and this is my first personal information. Today's topic, table of content in introduction, early life, literary career beginning, novels and major works, and writing style and conclusion. Thomas Hardy as a novelist. First, we see early life and also career. He born in Higher Dorset on 2nd June 1814. Eldest child of builder Thomas Hardy II and his wife Jemima Ann. The young Hardy was deeply influenced by the natural world around him. Hardy attended local school until he was apprenticed to a Dorchester architect at the age of 15. After 6 years apprenticeship, Hardy went to London in 1861. Hardy read widely in London and became interested in fictions and poetry while he practicing architecture. When Hardy returned to Dorset and as an architect and builder, he continued to write and by 1871 had published his first novel and his name Poor Man and the Lady. He is first known as a novelist. Hardy's novels capture the flavor of life in rural Dorset as well as in the inner lives of his memorable character. He married Emma Gifford in 1874, and when Emma Gifford passed away, then he married his secretary, and she was younger than 39 years age. Hardy's major works, first Poor Woman and the Lady work, first novel, but he can't publish because some issues. And the second, The Mayor of Casterbridge, Far from the Madding Crowd, The Return of the Native, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Pair of Blue Eyes, Greenwood Tree, and the Jude the Obscurity is the last his novels work. Hardy's novels and short stories, according to his own classification, fall into three groups. First, a novel of characters and environment. We can add in this some major novels like Far from the Madding Crowd, The Mayor of Casterbridge, that's romances and fantasy, and third, novels of ingenuity. Writing style. Thomas Hardy's writing style in fiction is a reflection of his poetic sensibility marked by subjectivity and deliberate avoidance of excessive stylization. His ability to adapt his style to suit the mood and nature of his characters and stories demonstrates his versatility as a writer. Hardy's distinct, unmistakable style is deeply intertwined with his personality, making it a crucial aspect of his literary signature. And the why he did stop writing novels. Thomas Hardy stopped writing novels because his books were shocked by many people's Victorian times. One of the novels last, this is Jude the Obscure, was even called Jude the Obscene, and was burned by a bishop. Henry James also criticized as a distinct people were upset about Hardy's views on marriage and religion, which caused problems with his wife Emma and led to harsh criticism in the media. So after the Jude, he started writing poetry and drama, and in 1898 he published his first books of poems called Wessex Poems, which include the poems he had written over 3 years. Now, his death, Hardy was an accomplished poet and novelist. He died in 1928. His ashes are in Poets' Corner and of Westminster Abbey, and his heart is buried in Stainford with his first wife. Conclusion. Thus, Hardy was the prominent Victorian novelist, and he was a creator of philosophical novel and also gave to the novel a new and impressive architecture pattern. This is my work site. Thank you. If you anyone asking question.
My question is, which aspect of Hardy's novel do you like the most?
Hardy's love is all the we can say in novels in all best, but the most of novels like Far from the Madding Crowd, Mayor of Casterbridge, it's a best and much of making film about as this novels, and also like his much of works novels in, also he wrote a poem, and also he wrote much of poems like 1986, like that poem he written, and most he in novels in characters like vivid descriptions, rural life description, and much of good beautiful character scheme, it's available, so I like the most. Next question.
Which are the style of Thomas Hardy's works that make him best?
Thomas Hardy's works make him best in best character, beautiful character analyze, settings, deeply themes, um, and realism settings. Also, he best. So he best physics. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Today, I will deal with the topic Louisa's Liberation, a voyage from suppression to self discovery. These are my personal information. This is the topics which I delve deeper into this presentation. So let's first discuss about Hard Times. It written by Charles Dickens and it published in 1854. It falls under the category of novel. We can say that it deal with the subject like social commentary and criticism of the Industrial Revolution. And we can find the setting of the story is a fictional town, Cocktown, which is situated in England during the Industrial Revolution. Let's see about Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was born on 7th February in 1812 in Landport, England, and he died on 9th June in 1870 in Gates Hill Place, England. He was famous novelist and journalist and social critic of his era, and is known for his writing popular novels and exposed the social and economic injustice of Victorian England, such as Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, and A Tale of Two Cities. So let's discuss about we have in these hard times many characters, but today I will deal with character Louisa. I believe that she is the most important character of this play. of this novel. Sorry, Louisa is a character in the novel, and we can say that major character in the novel. She faces challenges in expressing herself. She is not introvert, but she just grew up like that. That she cannot express herself, her thoughts, her feelings with anyone. She struggles with emotional confusion. Her character is introduced through her interactions with her father. We can say that her father, Mr. Great Grand, pressurize her, and he also believe in only facts and facts. So she cannot that express her imaginative ideas and feelings. So let's discuss Louisa's separation. We can find initial repression that Louisa as a character who lacks self-expression and emotional and confusion. In the beginning, we can find that Louisa is there is scene of a school, and we can find that Mr. Great Grand also believes that there is a only one truth, is a fact and fact. So there is a no need of any emotional or any fiction, emotional or an imaginative world. So Louisa also face that problems for self expression, or she feels emotional confusion. Louisa's lexical choices, and especially in her speech with her father, it reflects her emotional state and inability to express herself. She can easily express herself toward with her brother, but she cannot express herself with her father. Louisa has a trouble expressing herself. We can say that she cannot openly say that I want to do that, or imagine I want to fly in the imaginations sky of imagination. She experiences emotional confusion. This is evident in her word choices, especially when talking to her father in circus. We can find that her father scolds her that why you are here in this circus. So in that scene, we can find that this type of repression. The transformation of Great Grand and Louisa, we can find that not only Louisa's character transformed by as novel move forward, but we can find the transformation of Great Grand also. Great Grand and Louisa both undergo development, and Great Grand's speech with Louisa in chapter 15. Chapter 15 name has father and daughter, in which we can find that Louisa confronts towards her father, and that she and tells that I am not happy in my marriage, and she just tell her emotion. She express her emotion. Great Grand uses emotionally connecting language to discuss boundary-based marriage proposal with Louisa. Louisa's inability to express herself and emotional lows are evident in her speech. And Great Grand's dynamicity is seen sorry in his inclination towards using persuasive language instead of directive language. He just play the word game with Louisa's awakening, a shift towards empowerment. At the end of the novel, we can find that Louisa is unhappy in her marriage life. So Louisa's marriage to Bounderby is unsuccessful. We all know that, and her marital home resembles her father's in its strict adherence to facts. Loveless marriage with Bounderby makes Louisa susceptible to Mr. Harthouse seduction. That he just suspect that she has affair with Harthouse. Louisa and Harthouse decide to flee together, but Louisa just think about, and her sound reasoning leads her to that no, I am very safe at my father's house. Both Louisa and her father undergo significant change. We can see through the novel. At the conclusion, we can say that Louisa's story shows how she went from being controlled and unable to express herself to finding her own identity. At first, we can say her father's strict teachings and lack of emotion held her back to express her feelings, her imagination. But through her interactions with her brother and her growing ability to express herself, she expressed firstly in front of her brother Tom, and then she grew her personality. She discovered her own potential. Louisa's journey reminds us that even in tough situations, people can find their way to freedom and self-discovery. These are some references. Thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
My question is, how does Louisa's upbringing suppress her individuality and personal growth at the beginning of the movie?
Yes, Nanda. As I mentioned in my presentation, that Louisa was from childhood. She was we can say that she was stopped by her father due to any societal norms, and we can find that she just stop herself to express her feelings and emotions. So her individuality and personal growth at beginning of the novel, we can find that this type of, she cannot express herself and her feelings, that she wants to live like a sissy, but she cannot live like her because of her father. So her, we can say that her upbringing also affect her. Okay, any other question?
How does Louisa's path from suppression to self-discovery impact other character and overall narrative in Heart?
Yeah, we can find that Louisa's path from suppression to self-discovery impact other characters also. We can find that at first her father is very strict, and he just believe in fact. There is no elements like emotions and imagination. But when his daughter just confess that I am not happy with your decision, I am not happy with your this type of norms like facts, and I am unhappy in my married life. So at that time, and when she falls and at that time he just know that no, I am wrong, and my all decisions are not every time correct, but I am also wrong at my beliefs. Yes, it impact other characters also. We can find that when she just stop herself to express that I don't like it. So her father also just marry her with Mr. Bounderby, but he even not ask her that you want to marry him or not. At that time, we can find that that is the very beginning very beginning in that type of character we found in very beginning of the novel. But at last, when she expressed that I want this, at that time we can find that um, Mr. Great Grand changes her heart for her daughter. So we can say that it impacts other character also. Okay, thank you.
You have discussed a very good article, which more things from that article you might have brought. Some of the quotes you have brought from the article, but a few more things also you might have discussed. Like this article has very interesting charts, which you have referred to. So those things also you might have discussed. That the method of this article also is good. It is doing statistical syntactic analysis of sentence types. By doing this study, they are talking about who is Suzanne McLuff is talking about character development, but it's a very unique style, statistical syntactic analysis of sentence types, and in that context, this said. So its methodology is also quite unique and quite well written article, and this all things you might have brought. Some quotes are also given here. That also you might have brought to see. So when you reach to a good article, what to pick up from that article, that also is very important. What ideas you pick up, what you analyze, what you discuss, and what methodology is used by this article is again very interesting, which one can try in the study of other characters also. If you pick up this methodology from this article, you can in your own way think of another article in a short story, if not in a big novel. At least somewhere you can adopt this also. So it has a very good charts, which rarely we see in the analysis of characters. This kinds of analysis you won't find. So it is very unique and quite a good article is given there. And it is also comparing. There was this question was good. KINJAL asked about other characters, impact on other characters. So this article is talking about the here you see that with father, with James Harthouse, and with brother, three other characters, and what way her language is changing. That is already there also in this. So this others also can refer to this article is worth referring to. Okay, next one. So Nanda has 3 incomplete tasks in Google Classroom, and Pallavi has 1 incomplete task.
Steam engines, factory system, and technological advances revolutionized manufacturing, increasing productivity. This revolution triggered massive urbanization and created a modern workforce. While it fostered innovation and economic growth, it also brought social challenges including labor exploitation, poor living conditions, and class disparities. The profound impact on society is evident in the transition from lifestyle to the industrialization, urban centered world we know today. Character and their roles. Hard Times by Charles Dickens introduced key characters whose experiences vividly reflects the effect of industrialization. Thomas Gradgrind, a utilitarian educator, embodies the mechanized approach to education that was prevalent during the Industrial Revolution, emphasizing facts over creativity. Louisa Gradgrind, his daughter, symbolized the emotional and intellectual stunt growth resulting from such an education. Stephen Blackpool, a factory worker, portrays the flight of the working class in industrialization society, suffering from labor condition. Bounderby, a factory owner, exemplifies the self-serving and callous nature of some industrialists. Through these characters, Dickens provides a lens to examine the dehumanization impact of industrialization on individual and society. And utilitarianism, a prominent philosophy during the Industrial Revolution, is a key theme in Hard Times. This doctrine, emphasizing utility and measurable outcomes, was often applied to economic and social policies. In the novel, Thomas Gradgrind, a staunch utilitarian, enforces this philosophy in his educational methods, emphasizing uh, practicality while neglecting the emotional and imaginative aspects of human life. Dickens critiques utilitarianism through Gradgrind's character, revealing its dehumanization effect on individuals. The novel highlights the need for a more balanced approach, advocating for empathy and a recognition of the holistic nature of human experience in contrast to the rigid utilitarian mindset of the era. The working class. In Hard Times, Charles Dickens offers a poignant examination of the working class within the industrialization world of Cocktown. Characters like Stephen Blackpool and the hands at Bounderby's factory symbolize the harsh realities faced by the laboring class. They endure long hours, dismal working conditions, and limited opportunities for improvement. Through their story, Dickinson underscored the profound challenges faced by the working class during the Industrial Revolution and the urgent need for social reform. The negative consequence. In Hard Time, Charles Dickens offers a profound analysis of the detrimental outcome of industrialization. The novel vividly illustrated dehumanization with characters like Louisa Gradgrind, who is emotionally stifled by a mechanistic upbringing, and Stephen Blackpool, representing the exploitation and degradation of the working class. Conclusion. The enduring themes of industrialization in hard times remain highly relevant today. Dickinson's portrayal of dehumanization, class disparities, and the relentless pursuit of profit at the expense of human welfare speaks to contemporary issue. In a world driven by technology and essentially the devaluation of human condition and well-being remains a concern. Income inequality and social injustice persist in various forms. The novel's message is a reminder that unchecked industrial progress, if devoid of compassion and ethical consideration, can have negative consequences. It urges us to balance economic growth with social responsibility and environmental sustainability, offering valuable insight into the challenges of our modern industrialized world. These are my works cited. Thanks. If you have any question, then you will free to ask.
Priyanshi, my question is, according to you, what role do factories and technology play in the story setting?
Okay, Pallavi. Factories and technology are central in the story settings of Coketown. Coketown symbolizes industrial society of the town and the people who were exploited by their owners. So that shows factories and technology shows the industrial and mechanical exploitation of people. Then
Question is, what are some key symbols or metaphors used in the novel to represent the industrial revolution?
symbols or metaphor used in the novel and represented the smoke and pollution of Coketown, factory and mechanization, and the idea of the fact and the concept of the concept of exploitation. Okay, thank you.
Here also C is small. The name. Capitalization.
Good morning, first of all of you. Today, this is my personal information, and today I'm going to speak on the topic of character sketch of Lady Bracknell. This is author's introduction. His full name is Oscar Fingal of Fahrenheit Wills Wilde. He was born on 16th October 1854 in Dublin, Ireland. He died in the year 30 November 1900, Paris, France. He got awards and honors of Newdigate Prize at the age of 46. And these are some notable works of him: A Woman of No Importance, An Ideal Husband, Intentions, De Profundis, Lady Windmares, etc. And his movement and style consist of aestheticism and decadent. This is a table of content in which I'm going to deal with character description, role in the play, memorable quotes, and conclusion. So first, we'll go with his character description. Her, sorry. She was one of the prominent character in the play, The Importance of Being Earnest, and she was typically depicted as an imposing, well-dressed and elegant woman, where she belongs to aristocratic family. She is often portrayed wearing extravagant Victorian era clothing, including elaborate hats and gloves, which reflects her upper class status. She is known for her sharp wit. She is very impressive and a strict adherence to social etiquette. Sorry, she was a member of aristocracy. In the play, she places great importance on lineage, wealth, and social standing. Her role in the play, she provides much of the play's humor with the sharp wit and absurd statements. Particularly, she is against the relationship of her daughter with Jack, where she creates troubles and tension in the story. Her role is multifaceted, where then she is strict, then she is snobbish, and she is like having social status. So her role is like multifaceted. Then she serves as a vehicle for social commentary, and creates obstacles that drives the plot, where she's against her daughter Gwendolyn to marry with Jack, where she creates obstacles. And her role is essential, means very important to the play's exploration of Victorian era social norms and values, which shows her central role in the play. This is a memorable quote by Oscar Wilde, such as, "A handbag to lose one parent, Master Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune; to lose both looks like carelessness." Where Oscar Wilde writes this quote, where he tries to tell to us that whenever a girl or boy marries to whoever, uh, they should uh, they should earn money, and they should have their parents' life. This is a conclusion, where Lady Bracknell is a character in the play by Oscar Wilde, where she is very proper and strict about how people should behave, and she often says funny and silly things because she's so focused on rules, and she represents the rich people in society and makes fun of how they care too much about their social status. She also causes problems for the romantic relationships in the play. And in simple terms, Lady Bracknell is a funny, bossy lady who causes trouble for the characters in the story. This is my reference. Thank you. If anyone is having question, you can ask me.
Reshma, my question is how does Lady Bracknell represent the societal expectation and constraints placed on women in the Victorian era?
Okay, Priyanshi, Lady Bracknell. Okay, so social expectations and constraints, where she's like she's very this Lady Bracknell is curious about the social status where she belongs to aristocratic family. So this shows her societal no, social critic, which relates to societal expectations. And Lady Bracknell also she thinks like uh, whoever we marry any person, he also should be aristocratic, like he or she would be earning money. And in the case of women in the Victorian era, like we, women should be women should be having social status, and should like earn money. This is next question.
Reshma, my question is why did you choose this character and what are your reasons for doing so?
Okay, Pallavi, I have selected this character because she is one of the antagonists in this play, The Importance of Being Honest by Oscar Wilde, where it shows the importance of women's, and the reasons for why I have selected this character, because she she creates social critics, like again social status and aristocracy, which shows. Second reason I can give this, that she creates humor in the play, where she does fun, and she uses absurd statements in this play. And third reason I can give, that uh, she is uh, she creates obstacle towards the romanticism, where she don't want to get her daughter Gwendolyn to marry with Jack, where where she is very against the relationship, and she wanted to know everything about that Jack, and she don't want to marry her daughter with him in without knowing him. These are some of the reasons. Thank you.
Why are your slides not organized properly? But you need to do it earlier so you can organize again here also. This should not continue. Subsequently, you have to keep on improving and see that that error is not repeated. So Priyanshiba has 3 incomplete tasks, and RESHMA has completed all in Google Classroom.
Okay, so very good morning, all of you. Today, the very fourth day of our presentation seminar, and today I'm going to deal with the topic comparative analysis of characters of hard times with the Turkish series Brave and Beautiful. This is my personal information. This table of content.
Introduction. This is the basic information of Hard Times. The novel is written by Charles Dickens, as we already know, and published as Hard Times for these times, uh, and periodical household words from April to August 1854, and later published in the book form in the same year. Novel The novel indicates the industrialization with its effects on workers and communities in mid 19th century. Information of Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was born on 17th of February 1812 in Hampshire, England, and died on 9th June 1870 in Kent. He was greatest novelist during Victorian era, and notable works of him is All the Year Round, A Tale of Two Cities, David Copperfield, Hard Times, The Cricket on the Heart, Little Dorrit, and so on. uh, Brave and Beautiful. This is a series that I'm going to compare with. Brave and Beautiful is a Turkish television series produced by A. Yapim. Was aired on 10th of November 2016. This series also includes industrialism, class system, politics, education that we find in Hard Times themes also, and won 8 awards in 2016 to 2018 in these very 3 years. I have watched this series for the twice, and that time I have see that on Telegram, but now it's not available over there. But you can find in Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch a comparison of characters in the movies or series, characters have meaning, make and carry sense for us because they reflect the reveal of or are consist with patterns of behavior or personality more or less familiar to us through our contact with or knowledge of real people. This I have taken from the article of JSTOR named representation of fictional character. The characters that we find in Hard Times is Mr. Gradgrind, first of all, and continuing Mr. Bounderby, Louisa, Thomas Gradgrind, named Tom, Cecilia Jupe, also named with Sissy, Stephen Blackpool, but Mr. Harthouse, and Mrs. Sparsit. Firstly, Mr. Gradgrind. And in Brave and Beautiful, we have Dasin Koludak. It would be great if I also write the name of this particular character of the series also over here. Um, let's continue that Mr. Gradgrind is highly egoistic that we find, and rationalist, self-interested, a partial, wealthy, and later become member of parliament also. And that Dasin Koludag also we find that he is a very rich person in a way, and he is also egoistic person, and he is only believing in fact. Though we can say that Brave and Beautiful is a thriller series, that Dasin Koludag himself have so many secrets in himself. Okay. Joseph Bounderby, and in Brave and Beautiful we have Bulent, who only wants to marry with Suhan. That and here with for only money. And here we found Joseph Bounderby, who wants to marry to Louisa for only money, and he's proudy in a way, dreamy, greedy. Sorry, here I made a spelling mistake. Greedy, blind with wealth and power. Louisa, and in Brave and Beautiful we have Suhan, kind-hearted, well trained in a way. They're well educated, but well trained. That here they are not able to raise a question among all, but they just have to follow their parents. though she is rich but emotional and not partial. That we find that Louisa also later on fall in love with that person, and here Suhan fall in love with Caesar later on. Thomas Gradgrind, and also we can find that Tom, and Brave and Beautiful we have Korhan. Thomas is in a way selfish and proudy that he made several things in hard times, but in a way Korhan is not that much selfish and proudy, but he is in a way polite. Cecilia Jupe. In Brave and Beautiful, we have Serene. She is very imaginative character, confident enough to speak anything to anyone, and not that much educated, but also able to solve problems with her imagination and creativity. At the end of hard times, we find that Cecilia Jupe how solved and every problems of Gradgrind and their family. And in Brave and Beautiful, we have Serene. Similar way, Stephen Blackpool, and we have this with Brave and Beautiful, and Stephen Blackpool, a man with great honesty, compassion, and integrity. Stephen maintains his moral ideas even when he is shunned by his fellow workers and fired by Mr. Bounderby. James Harthouse, and we have series. We have Caesar in A Brave and Beautiful. Caesar. He is manipulating young London gentleman in hard times who comes from who comes to Cocktown to enter in politics. In his constant research for the new form of amusement, Harthouse quickly become attracted to Louisa and resolve to seduce her. And in Brave and Beautiful, that we find that Caesar fall in love with Suhan, and later on he is continuing with his intention. Mr. Sparsit, here we have a bit difference that Mrs. Sparsit, that we have female character, and in Brave and Beautiful that we have this male character. He's a selfish, manipulative, dishonest woman, and this also that we find the father of Serene. We have this very honest to his master, but in a way he is also selfish. This a comparison of character. Often we arrive at an awareness and understanding of characters' identity, problems, desires, value, and uh, that is somehow more and more completed than complete than the knowledge we have, the people we have know and even lived with her years, that I have taken from characters and characterization and inquiry, that we already know that when a movie adaptation or series adaptation is done, then not any time author or director able to create as it is the novel, as it is the series. Some changes were also there. A conclusion: Hard Times and Brave and Beautiful, despite their difference in setting and genre, share common themes and character archetypes that resonate with audience worldwide. Both works explore the human struggle for dignity, love, and happiness in the face of adversity. These are resources that I have taken, and thank you. If you have any question, then please.
Yeah, my question is, how does the social structure of Victorian England impact the character in hard times?
Okay, so the characters that impact correct the Victorian England's effect on characters that we find in Mr. Bounderby, also that he is wealthy and enough power so that he is able to keep the secret that she is her mother, his mother, and all, and that we find in that labor that who is rusticated by him, that though he is loyal but he has to suffer from so many things and they have to answer. Okay, next.
Ria, my question to you is what are the key similarities, difference between the characters in Hard Times and Brave and Beautiful?
Okay, as I mentioned previously, that genre and time setting were a different key difference that we find in Hard Times and Brave and Beautiful, as well as in characters also that we find that some characters are male and in Hard Times that we find female character like Mrs. Persic. So these are the similarities and difference that I have find between Hard Times and Brave and Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm gonna talk about industrialism in Charles Dickens' Hard Times. This is my introduction and brief information about Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was a 19th century British author and editor who wrote novels, short story, comics, and novellas. He produced some of the most famous books of his time, including Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, A Tale of Two Cities, and A Christmas Carol. Dickens started his career writing humorous sketches and comics for periodicals, some of which he published himself. He is known for his stark portraits of the underclass in Victorian era London, highlighting the wealth gap and making his readers more socially aware. His work continues to influence literature and pop culture, with many of his taught to young readers. And let's talk about Hard Times. Charles Dickens published his Condition of England novel in 1854. His setting was a mythical place called Coketown, partly inspired by a visit to a northern industrial town of Preston, where he had observed a strike. Dickens was motivated by social concerns. He feared that industrialization and progress threatened to stunt human sympathies, forcing people into uh, mechanistic social roles. The text draws a marked contrast between fact and fancy. For the residents of Coketown, delight is found only in the entertainments provided by Sleary's circus. Industrialization in hard times. It was inevitable given the kind of criticism that Dickens was making, that his treatment of the industrial working people should have been so unsatisfactory. He recognizes them as objects of pity, and he recognizes the personal devotion in suffering of which they are capable. Ordinarily, Dickens' criticisms of the works he leaves in a casual and incidental, a matter of including among the ingredients of a book some indignant treatment of a particular abuse. Hard Tunes is a less imaginative observation than an imaginative judgment. It is a judgment of a social attitudes, but again, it is something more than North and South. But again, this must set the fact that in terms of human understanding of the industrial working people, Dickens is obviously less successful than Mrs. Gaskell. His Stephen Blackpool, in relation to the people of Mary Barton, is little more than a diagrammatic figure. This approach tends to break down the stark distinctions between town and country, between industry, arid culture, agriculture, between science and institution. Uh, from the first brilliant description of factory world where the elephants' heads represent the movement of machinery, the factory is treated as a living thing. Cooktown in the distance was suggestive of itself, though not a break of it could be seen. And in a notable passage of the fire of the furnaces is compared to the fire of the human passion. When she is considering Bounderby's proposal, Louisa is asked by the Cocktown works, and she replies, "There seems to be nothing there but languid and monotonous smoke." Let's talk about life before and after the industrialization. Society indeed suffered a huge transformation. Small towns and villages were left aside or transformed in urbanized sectors. Manufacture was mainly made at home, where they simply relied on natural resources, to whereas the uprising cities where the almost everybody worked in the system in the some way or another. Education was limited only the wealthiest society, and the gaps between the classes begin to be more even noticeable, even though a social class began to appear, the middle class. The population in the cities began to survive, and Britain experienced a demographic boom, estimating that the population more than doubled during the course of industrialization. More than 1.5 million people live in the capital. Political effects of the Industrial Revolution. First, the emergence of labor unions. Second, expansion of voting rights and democracy. Third, labor movements and political activism. Fourth, a rise of nationalism and imperialism. Fifth, changes in the political power. Sixth, changes in the role of government. My work citation. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
RESHMA. Is there already? You're on the screen.
Shruti, my question to you is what was the condition of the population during challenging times in the era of industrialism?
Yes, industrialism led to the significant shift from rural to urban areas, and people wanted to people wanted to work in factories, and that's why they moved to the city areas. And uh, industrialism increased economic disparities, and small elite class accumulated huge amount of wealth, and while working class lived in poverty. Next question.
Who is next?
Why did Charles Dickens start portrays the underclass in the Victorian era?
Charles Dickens start portraits of the in the Victorian era depicted the harsh living conditions of people, the poverty and social class and wealth gaps and social inequality experienced by the people and the individuals. Charles Dickens used his works to shed light on these issues deeply and precisely. Thank you. That's all.
We have 8 missing tasks in Google Classroom. Let's start.
Hello everyone, good morning. Today my topic is a comparison between Tennyson and Browning. This is my personal details. This is points to ponder. So first one is about the Alfred Lord Tennyson. Second one is about the Robert Browning. Third one is similarities between Tennyson and Browning. Uh, Difference between Tennyson and Browning, and in the last there is a conclusion. About Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1809 to 1892, was an English poet. As the grand old man of Victorian poetry, he was the poet laureate during much of Queen Victoria's reign. In 1829, Tennyson was awarded the Chancellor's Gold Medal at Cambridge for one of his first pieces, Timbuktu. Tennyson is typically Victorian who adapted the conventional religious and social views and values of his age. About Robert Browning. Robert Browning, 1812 to 1889, was an English poet and playwright whose dramatic monologues put him high among the Victorian poets. He was noted for irony, characterization, dark humor, social commentary, historical setting, and challenging vocabulary and syntax. Browning's poetry had a significant influence on later poets, including T.S. Eliot, Ezra Pound, and Robert Frost. His innovative use of language and exploration of the human psyche left a lasting mark on English poetry. Similarities between Tennyson and Browning. Tennyson and Browning were prominent poets of Victorian era. Their works reflected the concerns and uh, sensibilities of the time. Both poets delved into a complexities of human emotions and the human condition. Love was the recurring theme in the poetry of both Tennyson and Browning. Tennyson and Browning are considered two of the most influential poets in the English language. Both poets occasionally used their works to comment on social and political views of their time. Differences between Tennyson and Browning. Lord Tennyson and Robert Browning. Tennyson is known for his polished and lyrical style. He often used traditional form and matters such as a blank verse, quatrains, and sonnets. On the other hand, Browning's style is more dramatic and innovative. He often employed the dramatic monologue, a form in which a character speaks to an implied listener.
Tennyson's poetry often dealt with themes of nostalgia, nature, and a mythological past. He frequently wrote about the inner turmoil and emotional struggles of individuals. Browning's poetry often delved into a complexities of human psychology and the darker aspects of human nature. His work explored themes like love, art, morality, and the human condition. Tennyson was very popular during his lifetime and was appointed as a poet laureate of the United Kingdom. On the other hand, Browning poetry was often considered less sensible than Tennyson's. He had a dedicated following among intellectual and artistic circles. Tennyson's poetry had a significant impact on the Victorian literary scenes, and he was regarded as the voice of the Victorian era. On the other hand, Browning's innovative use of the dramatic monologue had a lasting influence on later poets, particularly in the development of modernist literature. Conclusion: Tennyson and Browning were both important Victorian poets, famous in dramatic monologue. Browning logically reveals the essence of a personal, whereas Tennyson includes the plays a particular mood. Browning, in his poetry, attempts to realize human nature, society, and religious, whereas Tennyson recalled the conscious mind and environment through ornate language. As a source of his poetry, Tennyson applied many subjects from domestic conditions to observation of atmosphere. Browning, on the contrary, takes immoral characters and challenging us to find out moral excellence. Both poets made lasting contribution to English literature and continue to be studied and appreciated today. This is my references. Thank you. Now, if you have any question, you can ask me.
My question is, in what ways did Tennyson and Browning challenge Victorian norms in their poetry?
Tennyson and Browning, they pushed the boundaries of Victorian poetry. Like Tennyson and Browning, they are focusing on individualization. They are focusing inner thoughts and individual emotions. Also, they are questioning Victorian societal norms, and their major themes of poetry is love and adventurous. If you have any questions also.
Trupti, can you please explain how did Tennyson and Browning use nature in their poetry to convey deeper meanings?
Okay. Tennyson's writing style is like more poetic, and Tennyson is focusing on emotions. Tennyson's in nature, he reflects in his poetry, he uses a calm sea, and it represents inner peace. And on the other hand, Browning is use nature, in Browning's work we can see that stormy nights, he used stormy nights to create like horror scenes. Browning used nature to set scenes and create emotions. Thank you.
So, for this self-evaluation, we have to like select initiation or morning. This morning, whether to examine.
No, the unique one only. You have to select unique one. Don't make that difference. And evaluation maintain the same sequence which you have done in first 3 days.
Okay, so very good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to deal with the contemporary struggles in Jude the Obscure. Yes, these are my personal informations and the learning objectives that we are looking for in this is the contemporary struggle in Jude the Obscure and some of the ways in which author draw and transform attention and analyzing the different types of allusions and explaining how they create or enhance meaning. Yes, we'll go through first the introduction. Jude the Obscure, a last completed novel by Thomas Hardy, received a mixed critical reception upon its publication in 1895. And before this, in 1894, it was published in a magazine serials. And yes, Jude the Obscure attacks the hypocrisy and double standards inherent in late Victorian attitudes towards class, education, and role of women and marriage. These are the points where Thomas Hardy focuses in his every works. Like he used to just write on the such areas like class, education, and marriage and all. Hardy's a fictional name for Oxford in his pursuit of education and social empowerment. Two women play a key role in the exploration of these ideas, and each highlights in a different fashion the choices faced by women at the time. Arabella Dawn, seductive, intelligent, but uneducated, manipulative, and Sue, Bridget, is Jude's cousin, intelligent and free spirited. Sue's ability to support herself financially via her career as a teacher and her opposition to marriage marks her out as some readers at the time would have readily labeled a new woman, because at that time women were like not educating herself or they weren't work, but here Thomas focuses on this character to come her as a new woman. And then we'll focus on the class and status seeking. Yes, a Jude the Obscure become the history of the worthy man's education and his failure to achieve his aims. We can see in Jude. The education system constructed by Victorian society was highly class oriented, as stated by Bishop Chakravarti, that both Spencer and Hardy believe that whenever and wherever there is social governmental interference in an individual's life, that life becomes miserable. Yes. Then sexuality and women's right. Jude becomes infatuated with the enhanced uh, beauty of glorious Arabella Dawn. Yes, Arabella becomes a symbol of the flesh. See, she is present here as an uneducated, practical woman with a materialistic thought process, and is clearly identified with her character. We can see that how flirty and that Arabella is. Grace, Tease, Sue, and almost all the heroines fit into the 21st century concept of the independent woman. Kathleen Black has stated Lloyd Ferrando critiques Sue in contrast to other new women heroines of that contemporary period. Hardy shows how and why Sue Bridget is a free woman but repressive personality, sophisticated but infantile, passionate but sexless, independent but hitting man, conventional but unconventional. Yes, we can see in her. Marriage and morality. The conservative society doesn't permit the free union between the two persons, as it only accepts the bond assigned in paper that promises the endless compromises with the person's natural self. Yes, we all know that Jude and Sue were not married, but they do live as a couple, but they were not on the paper. So the society was not ready to accept them. The unwed mother is considered to be socially unacceptable. Yes, the mother will be forced to feel guilt for the work that she has innocently performed. This has become the meaningless conviction that there is something wrong with a woman becoming pregnant unless she has promised to live with one man forever. But for better or worse, one meaningless conviction gives sustenance to another. Yes, it is so. This again become a conflict between social norms and natural intuitions. Yes, destiny and determination. Sue at a point where after losing her child, she was like, there's nothing, because she thought that she is not following that, she was not religious. So she thought that that's why this all is happening. We can see her life is full of tragic and hardship they both are facing. So yes, she somehow starts blaming herself as a responsible for their death, children's death, and everything. She somehow accepts the social construct as her destiny, which takes her into the custody of marriage. The relationship between Jude and Arabella, Sue and Phillotson are formed on the basis of deception, as they are devoid of the true sense of love. This brings dualism. The failure in those marriage established Hardy's notion of duality. That is an important aspect of Victorian era, but seeds of the broken marriage is deeply rooted in the context of modern era. Yes, what was the purpose of discussing all such? Enriches the perspective of exploring ideas. Like during that time, also Hardy wrote brought such a new woman, and we can make connections between the values, personalities, and what issues at that time and which we are facing today also. We can pay respect to our literary predecessors, spark intertextual conversations, challenge a widely expected view, or to subvert a traditional idea or narrative, and make readers think or reinterpret the meaning. Yes, so when we conclude, it's like the hardy perspection of new idea about femininity and marriage by presenting the hot contemporary issues of new woman and free union through the development and presentation of Sue Bridehead and her free union with Jude, respectively. Hardy's presentation of Sue Bridehead as a new woman and employing the free union is marked contrast with the 19th century convention of marriage as a bonded pair in is Hardy's closing upshot of his final novelistic attempt. Yes, these are my references. And thank you. Now, if anyone have any questions, can ask.
Unnati, my question is, how does gender inequality and women's role in society manifest in the novel?
Okay, yes. Gender inequality. Obviously, we can see that how both that Sue is like we can see in Sue that how they both are like Sue was a working woman. That was her personal choice. But when we look toward the Arabella, she chose to become a housewife and like a housewife, but cutting that meat and flesh and all. So that was about that. And inequality, we can see that whereas she was felt guilt because she was pregnant without marriage, without getting, but whereas Jude was not because he was, but he was not blamed as such as a woman is blamed for being a parent or as such. Yes, next.
My question is, what are the consequences of the character's pursuit of personal happiness in a repressive society?
Okay. Personal happiness, it doesn't seem like personal because interference of society, and throughout their life they both faced hardship and struggle. uh, so I don't found any personal happiness. Interference of society was quite much. So yes, thank you.
adjust the camera.
Yes.
So, just you have to keep it, you have to only the upper part.
Okay, okay. I understand.
Slightly up. Frozen.
Fine, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am YASHRAJSINH. Today we are going to explore the impact of industrialization in hard times and modern times. So, Hard Time is the novel written by Charles Dickens. In the modern time, it is the movie which was published or directed and performed by the Charlie Chaplin. Here you find my personal information. First of all, let's discuss what is industrialization. So we can get the more how it impact into both of the works. Industrialization is the process of converting to the socio-economical order in which industry is more dominant. It is more important than the human beings and the any other things which are there in the world. The challenges that took place in the Great Britain, it is a history behind that. During the Industrial Revolution in the late 18th and 19th century, provided the prototype for the early industrializing nation of Western Europe and North America. So these are the major countries where industrialization took place at the very first place. Cities drew large number of people of the land in the cities. Lots of people are coming for the work in the factories, massing workers in the new industrial towns and factories. So the new people are coming into the cities for the job purpose. This information is taken from Britannica. What is industrialized? So now the Hard Times, our novel, which is written by Charles Dickens. Original title is Hard Times for These Times. Country, it was in England. Language English. Genre we can find it is novel. Published, it was firstly published in the serialized form from April 1854 to August 1854, and in book format when it was completed in the magazine. It was book format published in 1854. Publisher Bradbury and Evans. Now the Modern Times movie, which is directed, written, produced by Charlie Chaplin. Release date 21st February 1936. Running time 87 minutes. Language England. Now the first paragraph you can see it was taken from the original novel where Dickens has written what is the situation of Stephen Blackpool. So Stephen looked older, but he had had a hard life. It is said that every life has its roses and thorns. It has good and bad parts in everyone's life. But there seems, however, to have been a misadventures or mistaken in the Stephen's case. Whereas somebody else has become the possessed of his roses, and he had become the possessed of same somebody else thorns in addition to his of lives. Chapter 10, we can find this paragraph. So it is that how the life of Stephen Blackpool is Charles Dickens wants to point out. And the other thing we find in the from the chapter 11 from the novel, Stephen bent over in his loom, how he is working quite watchful. He is very watchful because he has to work in the factory and study a special contrast as every man in the forest and of looms where Stephen walked to the crashing, smashing, and tearing pieces of mechanism in which he labored. He has worked at the different places. In the same way, we find in the movie scenes, when the picture is taken, they are working like they are bent down and they are continuously doing in the work. So this is the scene from the movie when the workers are working. Representation of industrialism in the movie modern times, how it is represented. First of all, when the movie starts, so when we get the first reference, as we have seen in the same thing in I think the other novel, we also find the same. The sheeps are going into the work, for the sheep of flock is going for getting a food, and the same way we find in this other picture that people are getting into the factories for getting a job or getting a work. And the story, when story begins, it is portrayed that modern times, a story of industry, of individual enterprise, humanity crusading in the pursuit of happiness. How pursuit of happiness, people are working in the factories, and how their lives has become more mechanical. Another picture, you find that the person is scolding the other worker. Same we find in the Stephen's character when he goes to Bounderby and he scolded him for not giving the support that he asked for, that bringing the information from the other workers who are protesting against the factory. The first picture, it is shown that can't I say a little longer, I am so happy here. It is said by the Charlie Chaplin, the character of this Travis. He says that I want to be in the jail. He was in the jail, so he enjoys more of his life in the jail. So he likes more jail than the real world outside. And the other pictures that we find the major theme and the concept of the whole movie, that the person is stuck into the industrialism in the machinery. So we find the concept. In the same way, when the novel ends, that the two person, that the woman is also there, the actress, and the Charlie Chaplin, the Travis, he is going towards the mountain. So we can say they are going out from the industrialism, and they want to live their life in the natural way. So they are moving towards, in the empty road is there. So we find that. Comparative analysis of hard times and the modern times, what we find the concept, critics utilitarianism. So each and every person, each and everything has its own use, and all the use should be taken from them. As in the human beings, we also find that all the use of them, how they can work, so all the essence of their working system should be taken from them. In modern times, we find critique of modern industrial society, as we see in the pictures. Focuses on the dehumanization of the workers, how they are making them dehumanizing, not understand them as the human being, but they are working as the machines. In the same way, modern times, if I highlights the dehumanizes and the alliance in the workspace, especially in the workspace, how they are exploited and how they have to work in the work. Factories. Hard times examines the impact of education and social crimes, as we find that the character of this great grind is more give more influence on the facts. So we find that education system based on the facts. In Louisa's and the Sissy's education, we find that in the modern time explore the impact of individual and the society, how individual suffers to that. A character of Stephen Blackpool, we can connect with the character of Tramp from the Charlie Chaplin movie and from the Charles Dickens novel Hard Times. In the conclusion, we can say our exploration of industrialism in the hard times and the modern times reveals that dual nature, force in the progress and adversity, good part as well as in the hard parts in the both of the novel and the movie. These works remind us of the importance of ethical industrial practices and prioritizing the well-being of the workers. We have to also think about the well-being. As we see in the Google company, we have seen the photographs that how they are also providing the working background for the workers. So we should also think about them. As we negative contemporary times, we must learn from the past approach industrialization from the wisdom and responsibility. We have to use that, balancing its benefits and its challenges while pursuing our humanity. We have to conserve our humanity as well. We also have to consider that the growth of technology and machinery has also provided numerous facilities in 21st century. It has made our lives easier through advancement in healthcare. We find medicines, education. We go through the online education, and as we are doing right now. And in the global trade, it has also influenced the different nation for economically. This information is also help. I have get the help of ChatGPT for grammatical mistake, and some points I have taken from the ChatGPT. I get the help of it. Here are the references. I have taken these slides and the templates from the Slides Go. Thank you. That's from my side. You can ask me questions.
Yes, Raj, my question is, how does the industrial setting of hard times reflect the imperialistic values of the Victorian period?
Yes. We find that the major characters of Bounderby and the Great Grand, they are also like opposite of the workers. They are like more, they are making workers work more, and they don't consider the workers as the human beings. They are like in the character of Stephen Blackpool. So he dies in the hard times. So we find that conflict between the imperialistic, who is like the owners of the factories, and the workers. So we find that in the circus also we find that Cicely's father is like in the pain. He is working in the circus, but he is in the immense pain. So he has to take some of the oil. So apply oil for like getting out from that pain. So we find that two different dimensions, factory owners and factory workers, we find in the hard times.
Yes. How did industrialization impact rural communities and agriculture during that time?
Yes. First of all, as we know that factories, that air pollution is going to be there, and in the water pollution is also that the garbage of the factories that is taken from through the air, and water pollution, it is also influenced the agriculture, where the water is being used, or some types of things that affect the agriculture. And in the rural communities, we find that all the rural people wants to go into the cities for working in the factories. So that also influence the rural life, as well as the industrial the rural communities. So in the village area are being constructed as they are in the city area. So there most of the people want to do work in the city because of the money and good uh, these plans also. So yeah, that's from my side. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the last one for the morning session. A few feedback I have already given. In the last one also, Yashraj has completed all the tasks. Unnati 1 is remaining. Trupti 2 tasks are remaining. Shruti is highest in incomplete task with 8 in this group. There might be many more in the second half. Those who are commuting from villages, they will see more number of students there. Okay, so we talked about KHUSHI in the beginning, that not you, KINJAL we talked about. You are still citing from study material side. KHUSHI, then NANDA also is citing from Spark Notes. Google search is not a proper link. So that you need to improve. Now you are aware that you can ask semester 3 students to help you in improving this mechanics of citations and research writing. Kinjal, we informed, okay. Nanda presentation was good on Hardy as novelist. Pallavi also was good on hard times. PRIYANSHIBA on industrial revolution in hard times. You are also citing from EduBright. The other two citations were good from journals you have done, but one was from EduBright. RESHMA, you need to see that your presentation is organized well when you come for presentation. This all are technical things which we have to master, along with many other things, presentation skills, technological skills, facing camera, all this technical things, as well as content wise also, and our presentation skills. At a time, 3 types of things we try to develop. So everywhere we have to see that things are okay. RIYA, okay, we referred to that. It was good attempt that you made and well presented also. SHRUTI also presented on industrialism. There were also some study material citations there. TRUPTI on Tennyson and Browning. UNNATI presented on Jude. There was a good question by SHRUTI, about personal happiness and repressive society. It's a very good way to see that how pursuit of personal happiness becomes problematic when the society is repressive. Last one by Yashraj also was good comparison with modern times and hard times. Okay? And good that you brought reference from various things, including ChatGPT also. And you will see that ChatGPT brings a very balanced observation, not taking this side or that, but the conclusion comes with a balanced one. So when you make your presentation, if you want to see that how can you make a balanced observation, or what can be the another way of concluding, you can take help of some AI tools to see that how they are concluding this. And if it is suitable to you, you can bring those things. So that way, in bits and pieces, you can use AI tools to see that your performance becomes better. But as many of you still just download from some of the sources, copy paste and bring the thing. So you're not applying your brains also. Once you start applying your minds into the presentations, then you are held up somewhere that I should think in this direction or that direction. And then the AI tool can help that, well, I am confused here. Let me take help of somebody, either human being or machine. And let me see what result I'm getting. If it is, I'm happy with that, I can make a slide on that also. Okay, so with this, we end this morning session.